BlackWatch. And what are they doing over there in that apartment complex? You don't really see people getting messed around with over here on Pauline and Stadium the way they used to. It's to be quite the drug corridor. They've cleaned all that up. That's why when I talk about not making a big fuss about the 1,500 people that Ann Arbor has lost, 1,500 black people Ann Arbor has lost over the years. It doesn't really make that big of a difference to them because they replace them with people of color. They replace them with immigrants from other territories that look like black people, but they're not really black people. Not black Americans, at least. So when they see diversity and they see a lot of people of color, they can ride right over there. There's a lot of black people in Ann Arbor. There's a lot of people of color. There's a lot of minorities. So the 1,500 really doesn't make that big of a difference. What makes a big difference is that they've made it impossible for many black Americans to stay in Ann Arbor. It's all a part of a miseducation. We fight for the wrong shit. We fight about the wrong shit. I mean, I told people all Black Lives Matter, and now you see, you got Black Lives Matter founder who was just a fucking 2-bit college professor, small ass schools and shit she was teaching at, just bought a $1.4 million estate. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to buy a $1.4 million estate, but her and her wife and their child, they couldn't afford that shit before Black Lives Matter. And you know, most people don't even understand Black Lives Matter founder, Patrisse Cullors, is married to the founder of Black Lives Matter Toronto. Now, I don't know if it's actually Canada or if she's just Toronto. They might have multiple factions up there, but she definitely runs an organization that is parallel to the one in America in Canada. And when you're fucking around over there, that money doesn't transcend. That's Canadian money, it's American money, it's Canadian business, American business. So while everybody's worried about how much money Black Lives Matter is making in America, how much are they making in Canada or other foreign territories? And it's all connected to Patrisse Cullors, Alicia Garza, and I always forget that other one. She's really not in the news the way those two are. But it's just the miseducation of so many different things. I mean, we learn shit, we just don't learn the proper shit. So we might be educated on some shit, but we're just not educated properly. And speaking about not being educated properly, it's kind of what I thought about talking about, you know, my few moments of darkness as I'm driving home. And I mean, you know, I can cut the light on, but you know, that's like what I do always. But this is just a little bit more private. Like I said, people ain't really checking for what I look like. They're listening to the message. So you really don't need to see me. You just need to hear me. And you can hear me. Hopefully you hear me clearly. So, miseducation. Gone to what, 10 days of Derek Chauvin's murder trial? That's what it is. It's Derek Chauvin's murder trial. It's not the George Floyd trial. I hate when motherfuckers say that. That's some ignorant shit. You watch that George Floyd trial? Oh, I didn't know he was on trial. Oh, no, man. I was like, okay, then stop perpetuating that shit. Stop telling me it's the George Floyd trial when it's the Derek Chauvin murder trial. You just a system of white supremacy too. People don't understand how easily they can be a part of white supremacy. And before I get into talking about Derek Chauvin, see, you brought me right to a bigot. But before I get there, I had to jump on this little bit of white supremacy. White supremacy never ceases to amaze me. You know, we all know Tiger Woods got into a bad car accident. Tiger might not be right forever, okay? He might not be right forever. Because he's not a part of the Masters this weekend, obviously the Masters ratings are going to be low. They can say what they want to say. They can do what they want to do. But people ain't out here with their bread the way they normally are because Tiger ain't on the prowl. Tiger brought money just because he was in the field. Even when there were years where he really wasn't favored, which I don't know if he was never not favored, but they just always felt like other people were on hot streaks and they could beat him, and he was coming off of this surgery and whatever. Tiger brought the bill. If Tiger was in the Masters, he brought the bill. And they knew it. So they didn't care what kind of conditioning. Roll your ass up out there, Tiger, and we need you in the field, and we need you with a red shirt on Sunday. Make the cut. We need you with a red shirt on Sunday. And if you're in the hunt, everybody's going to be scared. Their nuts are going to draw up, and you'll probably have a shot. But since Tiger is not in the field this year, they don't have anything that they can put on him, right? Wrong. You know, and they gonna come back and say that it was in poor judgment. If anybody really raises any hackles. I mean, 12 motherfuckers gonna watch this video. So most probably people that aren't even gonna see it, they're not even noticing it, haven't noticed it yet. But I noticed something on the Big Bad Wolf, ESPN, because generally, if ESPN says something, don't nobody else challenge that shit. Well, I'm challenging it, motherfucker. I'm challenging with my 418 subscribers, bitch. You fucked up here, ESPN. You know goddamn well the Masters, they need some pub on Tiger, but there ain't no pub on Tiger. He's convalescing. He's rehabilitating. So what they want to bring out now new allegations are going to start about Tiger. They had to bring it out on Masters weekend. They couldn't bring it out last weekend. Or if they did just find out, why didn't they wait till the Masters was over? Now this is going to be conversation through the rest of the weekend. This will give them some more things to talk about Tiger, because they ain't got no golf shit to talk about Tiger, so they want to talk about Tiger's detriment. They still like to circulate that old-ass mugshot of Tiger. They thought he was like smashed. It was fucking painkillers. Motherfucker had numerous surgeries in his life. He's fucking jacked up on painkillers. Whatever. How many more white people has that happened to and y'all did not report on it? Why? Because they weren't Tiger Woods? Why? Because they were white? Why? Because they weren't a celebrity? Let's just go back to why because they were white. I like that answer. I'll stick with that one. But anyways, yeah. So the motherfucker said some shit tonight, and it wasn't the black reporter. I actually like him. He's cool. He's no Stuart Scott, but I like him. He's catchy with his shit. He's got a good verbal game. He has a little dude on. He wants to report about this, and I'm just saying they could have kept this shit past the weekend because it's not relevant to the Masters. It's not even relevant to anything. So I guess when they was getting Tiger up out the vehicle, they said Tiger thought he was in Florida. Now, this doesn't say anything to me. This says absolutely nothing to me. That Tiger thought he was in Florida. Okay. After a fucking accident, after airbags hitting him all in the body and shit, maybe he's been concussed. Maybe he doesn't know exactly where he's at. Who's to say that he's on some type of illicit substance? Because that's what this is leading to. This is leading to them saying that Tiger was jacked up on something. That's what I know it is. They want to now, what about the toxicology report? Ain't that shit all came back and said that Tiger didn't have nothing in his system? Or if he did, it wasn't like what caused the accident? Said Tiger thought he was in Florida. Okay. That happens a lot when people, they're just knocked out of whack and shit. Marble's a little scrambled. So he thought he was in another state. Tiger has a mansion in Florida. He might have more than one mansion in Florida. I don't know. He likes to buy mansions on golf courses, so he might, have northern Florida, southern Florida, Who knows? I don't know what Tiger has at this point. Thought he's a billionaire, shit. But what I do know is that Tiger's name, even not playing, he brings marketability to the Masters if you talk about him on Masters weekend. Now, I wonder if everybody going to wear a red shirt on Masters weekend. Probably not. I can't see it. And even if they thought about wearing the red shirt on the Masters, because, I mean, the greatest golfer ever is still living. Even if they thought about wearing a red shirt, putting this up right now, this kind of mars that. And if they do wear the red shirt, then this gives them something else to talk about. Did you hear about they said Tiger thought he was in Florida? Yeah, Tiger thought he was in Florida. He thought he was in Florida. It's giving them something to fucking talk about because they don't have anything else to talk about. Tiger was fucked up on dope and all that shit. It would have came out well before now. But because they didn't have anything to talk about, it's Masters weekend, and it's a very underwhelming field. I know for the field of golf and for spectators of golf and fans of golf, they probably are excited about it. But most motherfuckers watch golf over these last 20 some odd years because of Tiger. Most of the golfers in the field said that Tiger was their idol. He wasn't their black idol, he was their idol. He was the main reason that they play golf. So I don't see a lot of these people really fucking with this, but it gives people something to talk about. It's white supremacy. And on to what I was going to talk about with Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin was miseducated. I've learned after 10 days of this trial, Derek Chauvin has a lot of fucking tools in his belt. In his belt, yeah, he had a lot of tools in his belt. He's been trained. He's been trained and trained and retrained and trained again. He had all kind of continuing education. And he still chose to kill a man with his knee. He didn't use any of his tactical training. He didn't use any of his cerebral training. He just chose to snuff a motherfucker out with his knee. See, he took all that good training, all that good education for naught, and basically said, I'm going to kill this nigga today. I'm gonna kill him today. I could have killed him before. Everybody know Derek Chauvin worked with George Floyd, right? Y'all know he worked at that nightclub. They worked together at a nightclub. They haven't brought that up yet. I'm hoping that they do bring that up. Hopefully they do bring in the nightclub owner who can testify that, yeah, they were on staff at the same time. People have talked about how they've had issues. They had run-ins, you know. Big George was real laid back because he was so big. He tried to be the more laid back. Chauvin was an asshole, overtly aggressive asshole. People didn't like him. So they mixed, they butted heads a couple times. Hopefully all that comes out too, because they're acting like these two people never met during the first 10 days of this trial. His lawyers are stupid as fuck. But they ain't so stupid where they don't know already that he met George Floyd well before the day he put his knee on his neck. The day before they say he resisted arrest. I'm sorry, but if you resist arrest, I'm putting my hands on you. And I'm not a cop, but the way I see it, if you're resisting arrest and I got to get control of the situation, my knee might come into play. I might have to lift the knee up, might have to do something to you. But I'm generally going to put my hands on you because that takes control of the situation again, right? That puts me back in physical control by being able to put you back in pocket. If you are out of pocket with handcuffs on the ground. So if he was out of pocket with his handcuffs on, pinned on the ground, why didn't Derek Chauvin use his hands on George Floyd? Why did he only use his knee to press him into the unforgiving cement? Because see, that's how George died. If George had been on a rubber mat, if George had been on a trampoline, if George had been suspended in air, he wouldn't have died. but he was on the concrete, which don't give one fucking iota. So he died because he was crushed. He was suffocated. He died from asphyxia. He was snuffed out. Why? You can't say he was resisting arrest, because if he was resisting arrest, Derek Chauvin would put his hands on him to get back control of the situation. But he didn't put his hands on him, he put his knee on him. His hands were in his pocket. All that tactical training that Derek Chauvin learned, I guarantee you ain't one thing they taught him was to have his hands in his pockets. As a police officer, oh yeah, you just gonna have your hands in your pockets. That's where you put your hands? The fuck out of here, man. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody saying shit about that. This motherfucker's hands is in his pockets. And I'm pretty sure if you look at the video from the different angles, and I'm glad they have so many angles of this shit, he's gaining leverage with his hands in his pockets. If he's feeling insecure with the crowd gathering, the crowd filming, and the crowd yelling, and the crowd screaming, if he's feeling insecure about that shit, wouldn't he have taken his hands out of his pockets and, hey, you guys get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. Back out of here. Wouldn't he have done that shit? Huh? If he needed to get back on top of the situation, no pun intended, he would have used his hands. If he needed to get George back where he needed him to get, he would have used his hands. But he never used his hands. His hands stayed in his pockets. Because George was never out of control. George was never out of pocket. All that training, all that schooling. Derek Chauvin was educated, but he was miseducated. He actually should have never been educated, seeing that he had 19 years on the force and he had over 19 misconduct complaints. If I drive this vehicle and I get a reckless driving charge once a year, my license is getting suspended. Because it takes a couple years for the shit to fall off. So if I get one this year and I get one next year, I'm going before a judge and they're going to wonder why the fuck I'm so goddamn reckless. Why can't you get it together, Mr. McFall? If I go 3 years in a row, oh my goodness, it's definitely a suspension. 4 years, they're really wondering what the fuck's going on. 5 years, I'm probably not having a license. 6 years, I mean, reckless driving? And isn't that what misconduct would be for a cop? You're reckless. You've got misconduct. Police aren't supposed to have misconduct, just conduct. But when you have misconduct, you're being reckless in some way. You can't have 19 reckless drivings in 19 years and still have a driver's license. So why the fuck did Derek Chauvin still have a police license? You ever ask yourself that? Probably not. This shit should be shut down right after they bring whoever they're going to bring up to show that they knew each other. Because maybe they're saving the best for last. Actually, I think the best has already happened. I've loved these scientists, these medical examiners, and I'm telling it like it fucking is. He killed him. Unnecessary. Didn't need to happen. He killed him. Period. Y'all can do what you want to do after these 12 motherfuckers go in that room over there. But that motherfucker right there killed that motherfucker right there. That's what these scientists have been saying. That's what these experts have been saying. That's what the lieutenant from his police department said. Paramedics said he walked out. He said, I thought he was dead already. Yeah. We got a lot of people that say Derek Chauvin killed him. We just need 12 more motherfuckers to say that. And I'm sure the prosecution's gonna finish this off with a bang. That'd be good. Finish it off with a bang. And once they finish it off with a bang, I expect them 12 people to march their ass in that room, spend about 30 minutes, and come on back out. Saying, Your Honor, we're good. This shouldn't need no days of deliberation. We already know this motherfucker did it. We looking at it every single fucking day. They need to be doing now is gathering up and figuring out which motherfucking charge they're gonna drop on his ass. Can we get an upgrade to a first degree? I don't even know if that's possible, but I'd love it if it could be. We need it to be. We need it to be an upgrade to a first degree. Just because George deserves that. This motherfucker had his bright lights on the whole time. I never put them on because I already know people out here trying to invade deer, skunks, all kinds of shit. I get it. Come home every day. But because I was in my stretch, I didn't even, break stride, put my brights on, fuck him up, You never know what kind of state he's driving into. They say drunk drivers, they fade towards light. I don't want to give him any more light to come to. I don't need no head-on collision. 200 yards, my driveway. So yeah, George Floyd killed by Derek Chauvin. We know this. We absolutely know this. But what we also know, Derek Chauvin was well equipped with enough police training to know what he was doing and what that was going to cause. And even with paramedics there, Derek Chauvin still kept his knee on his neck. Yeah. He kept in control of the situation with his knee on his neck and his hands in his pockets. I really want to see the training manual that shows that technique. Hands in your pockets, knee on a neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, and you should be able to apprehend your suspect nicely. That's what Derek Chauvin did. He was able to subdue his suspect in 9 minutes and 29 seconds. And everything was good. Everything was good. I'm telling you. It was good because he said it was good. He said it was good. He was the lead officer. 19 years on the force. All the motherfuckers was goddamn rookie mopes. Follow-alongs. So what'd you have? You had 2 immigrants? And was it 2 immigrants and a I think one cop was black. I get them all mixed up. Chauvin's really the only other motherfucker. They're all gonna get really weak ass charges. Gonna get really, really weak charges. I wonder why the dogs are out. So, yeah. Having all of that training, all of that skill, all of those years of experience, Derek Chauvin was indeed an educated police officer. Well-trained. A well-trained police officer. But he was miseducated. It's fucked up. You can give somebody that type of tutelage and they use it wrongfully. So wrong that they kill a man. He had 19 complaints. It might have been more, but I know it's 19 and 19 years. 19 and 19 years has a good ring to it. I think it's more like 22 or something like that. But I know he's had at least 19 now. I'm trying to keep it all even so everybody don't have to do a whole lot of math. 1 a year. That's all we need is 1 a year. He had one misconduct motherfucking complaint a year. Now, I don't know if that all happened like that, if he had 2 1 year, 3 1 year. I don't know. But 19 and 19. Name something you could do for 19 years and have a fucked up complaint every year and be able to keep that job. Derek Chauvin did. He was a police officer. He was selected to protect and serve. Usually when you hear a motherfucker, you know, got 19 years in, usually hear about him being decorated. I haven't heard that term with Derek Chauvin yet. He's a decorated police officer after 19 years. So if he's not a decorated police officer, what kind of police officer is he? If he's a fucked up police officer, then why is he still a police officer? That's what you need to ask yourself, motherfuckers. Why was he even still a police officer? Why did he still have an opportunity to kill George Floyd? I'll tell you why. Because he was white. That's exactly why. He was white. For 19 years, with all those complaints, and they got him through. Nothing else. Not the union, not his past great police work, not his tenure. Because hell, he had fucked up complaints early on in his career. What got him through was being a Caucasian in America. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, I appreciate you. If you have not, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down. It makes no difference to me. I just need a digital footprint. I need to have some proof that I was fucking out here doing this. It's all good. The miseducation. We get hung up in that. And I hope Derek Chauvin gets hung up in it. What do they say, 40 years? 40 years will do it. He'll die. He'll die in prison. That's life. Just give him the 40 years. He won't last. I want to hear about 5 to 7, 7 to 9, and all that shit. No. Give him 40. Let him die behind bars. We're good. I don't need to hear life without parole. No, give him 40. He won't be able to do it. He'll kill himself because they put him in gin pop. They're going to eat his ass up. Yeah. So he won't do 40. But if they give him 40, the pressure's on. He either going to do them years or he going to find him a nice towel that he can noose up and deuce up. Put a knee on a motherfucker's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds and said he was resisting. God bless America.